The vanishing point. The disappearance of Jay Slater. The morning sun broke over the jagged cliffs of Tenerife, casting long shadows across the volcanic earth. Far from the resorts, away from the bars and bustling beaches, the land turned wild, ancient, silent, and indifferent. Jay Slater, 18, had always been the kind of kid who chased life like it was running from him. Fast, reckless, and with a smile that made trouble seem like an invitation. It was supposed to be a lad's holiday. Cheap flights, even cheaper drinks, sunburnt shoulders, and stories to laugh about back home in Manchester. But this story would never be laughed about. 3 days earlier, Jay and his two closest friends, Ryan and Callum, had landed in Tenerife with little more than passports, phones, and enough cash to stretch through a week of parties. They checked into a modest hotel near Playa de las Americas, a beach haven known for its nightlife. The first 2 nights blurred in a haze of neon lights and endless music. Jay had been particularly wild, chasing every thrill, dancing on tables, vanishing into crowds. That's how he was. But it was the 3rd night that changed everything. It started at a rooftop bar, where the drinks came quicker than the common sense. Jay met a group of travelers, not tourists, he said, but proper locals. He was fascinated, intoxicated not just by the alcohol but by their world. They spoke of a different Tenerife, a hidden island beyond the tourist gloss. One of them, a man with sun-leathered skin and eyes like storm clouds, invited Jay to an after-party up in the hills. "You want to see the real Tenerife?" he asked. Jay, never one to say no, left with them around 2 a.m. That was the last time Ryan and Callum saw him. By morning, there was no sign of Jay. No Instagram story updates, no messages. Just a single missed call at 5:17 a.m. on Ryan's phone, the screen lighting up for 2 seconds before going dark. When Ryan called back, it went straight to voicemail. Panic didn't set in until noon. By then, his phone had been off for hours. At 1:04 p.m., Callum got the call. Jay's voice was ragged, hoarse, the voice of someone who had run, someone who had screamed. "Mate, I don't know where I am," he whispered. "They left me. I'm in the middle of nowhere. No roads. My phone's dying. The line cut off." The last ping from Jay's phone came from a desolate area near Masca, a remote mountain village surrounded by cliffs, ravines, and dense laurel forest. The locals called it El Laberinto de los Espíritus, the Labyrinth of Spirits. Search efforts began immediately. Helicopters swept across the ravines. Dogs combed the trails. But Jay had vanished like mist in the morning. The media ran with it. British teen missing in Tenerife after bizarre call to friends, the headline screamed. Photos of Jay, grinning in swim shorts and bucket hats, filled screens and timelines. But behind the sensationalism was a slow-blooming dread. A young life lost, possibly in danger, or worse. Ryan and Callum refused to leave the island. They met with police daily, joined the searches, scoured Jay's social media for clues. Every hour felt like a lifetime. But as days turned into a week, hope began to stretch thin. There were theories, of course, that he'd fallen while trying to find a road, that he'd stumbled into the wrong territory, that he'd trusted the wrong people. Some whispered of trafficking. Others believed he'd simply gotten lost, dehydrated, and passed in a place too remote to find. But those who knew Jay struggled with those theories. He wasn't stupid, Ryan insisted. He knew how to handle himself. He must have seen something. Or someone didn't want him found. Then came the notebook. On the 9th day, a hiker discovered a torn backpack lodged under a fallen log several miles from the last phone ping. Inside, a cracked phone case, an empty water bottle, and a weather-stained notebook. It didn't belong to Jay, at least not at first glance. But inside were pages of frantic writing. Names, strange symbols, a sketch of a mountain pass. And one line repeated over and over. "They're watching from the ridge." The discovery reignited the search. Experts were brought in, survivalists, climbers, even psychics. But the notebook only deepened the mystery. Who had written it? Was Jay with someone else? Had he found someone out there? As weeks passed, the story faded from the front pages. Tourists returned to their cocktails and selfies. The island resumed its rhythm. But not for Jay's family. His mother, Claire, remained in Tenerife long after the official search had ended, posting flyers, talking to locals, begging for any clue. On the 50th day, she stood at the edge of a ravine near Masca, staring down into the green abyss. "I know you're here," she said into the wind. "I can feel you." A soft breeze passed, lifting her hair. And for a moment, just a heartbeat, she swore she heard his voice. "Mom." She turned. No one there. Jay Slater never returned. No body was ever found. His case joined the strange, growing list of disappearances in remote parts of the world. Young people, wanderers, dreamers, who stepped beyond the edge of the map. But back in Manchester, Ryan still keeps his phone on loud every night. If he ever finds a way back, I want to be the first one he calls. And somewhere in the mountains of Tenerife, where the air is thin and the trails twist like riddles, some believe Jay is still out there, watching from the ridge. Let me know if you'd like to adapt this into a screenplay, podcast script, or something else creative.